Let me ask you something, and I want you to be completely honest with yourself. Have you ever been in the middle of a sentence and suddenly stopped, paused, looked off into the distance for a second, and then started the sentence over again with a slightly different word? Maybe you were going to say, "I'm pretty annoyed about that." But something in your brain went, no, annoyed sounds too sharp. Let's try frustrated. Or maybe you started saying, "I love this," but mid-sentence your internal editor whispered, "Wait, does love feel accurate? Or do you actually mean appreciate?" And then there's the version of this where someone asks you a simple question, like, "How are you?" And your brain literally rejects 3 different answers in real time before you finally settle on, "I'm doing all right." If this sounds painfully familiar, if you cannot let a sentence leave your mouth without your inner copy editor reviewing it, revising it, and sometimes deleting it entirely, you've probably wondered, more than once, whether something is wrong with you. So let me put this to rest right now. Nothing is wrong with you. In fact, what you're doing is so far from a malfunction that researchers in cognitive linguistics are now identifying it as one of the most underrated forms of human intelligence. By the end of this video, you're going to look at every internal edit, every mid-sentence rewrite, every silent pause where your brain is comparing word options completely differently. You're not weird. You're not slow. You're not socially anxious. You are demonstrating one of the rarest cognitive traits a brain can have. So get comfortable, mentally rehearse how you're going to sip your coffee, and let's dive in. Let me start with some validation because I genuinely think you've been carrying this confusion for a long time. The fact that your brain mentally edits sentences before they leave your mouth is not a sign of social anxiety, dysfunction, or a weak verbal system. It's actually a signature of a cognitive style that researchers have started calling preverbal precision processing. This is a sophisticated mental process where your brain treats every sentence like it has weight, consequence, and emotional value. Most people speak the way they exhale, automatic, unfiltered, uncalibrated. You don't. Your brain runs every sentence through a quality control system before you allow it to leave your body. Most people would consider this excessive. But research shows that the people who do this consistently tend to be exceptional writers, precise communicators, deep thinkers, and emotionally intelligent humans. You are not broken. You are not boring. You are not socially anxious. You are wired for linguistic precision in a world that mostly speaks in rough drafts. And today we are breaking down in 5 specific scientifically grounded points exactly what's happening inside that beautifully meticulous brain of yours. Number 1. You have a highly active inner speech monitoring system. Inner speech is the literal experience of hearing your own voice inside your head. Some people have almost no inner speech at all. They walk through life in vague impressions and visual flashes. You, on the other hand, have a fully verbal internal narrator constantly producing sentences in real time. But here's the part that makes you specifically different. You don't just produce inner speech. You monitor it. You evaluate it as it appears. You adjust it before it ever becomes external. This dual process, simultaneous production and evaluation, activates Broca's area and the prefrontal cortex at the same time, which is a neurological pattern associated with high verbal intelligence, strong reading comprehension, and elevated reflective reasoning. Most people walk around with the radio playing in their head. You walk around with the radio playing, an editor checking it, and a producer making sure the final cut is exactly right before it goes live. Number 2. You're running a trait psychologists call linguistic precision sensitivity. This is the cognitive ability to detect subtle differences in word choice, tone, rhythm, and connotation. If someone says, "I'm fine," you don't just hear the word fine. You hear the slight tone, the speed, the weight, the implication. Because your brain can detect that level of nuance in others, it also holds itself to that same standard. So when you start to say something, your brain immediately evaluates the words like a chef tasting a sauce. Is this exactly right? Does this carry the right meaning? Will this land the way I want it to? And if the answer is no, your brain swaps the word in real time. That's not anxiety. That's a chef refusing to send out a plate that isn't perfect. People with high linguistic precision sensitivity are statistically overrepresented in writing, teaching, therapy, public speaking, and leadership. You don't just speak. You cure it. It's like everyone else is using whatever paint they grab first, and you're carefully selecting the exact shade because you know how much color affects mood. Takes longer, but the final product hits differently. Number 3, and this one is going to genuinely change your life if you let it. Your mid-sentence edits are tied to a process called metalinguistic awareness, which is the ability to think about language as language. Most people use words without considering them. They open their mouth, words come out, and they assume the words mean what they need them to mean. You, on the other hand, are aware that annoyed and frustrated carry different emotional flavors. You know that I'm fine and I'm okay are not interchangeable. You understand that thanks and thank you are not the same level of warmth. This level of metalinguistic awareness is so rare that researchers consistently link it to higher academic achievement, better second language acquisition, advanced creative writing skills, and stronger emotional intelligence. When you pause mid-sentence to swap a word, you are not stalling. You are exercising a cognitive ability that most humans never even develop. Your psychology is playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers without reading the rules first. Number 4. You possess a form of cognitive control called executive linguistic filtering, and this one explains why you can't just blurt things out the way other people do. Executive linguistic filtering is a function managed by your prefrontal cortex, and its job is to evaluate every sentence for clarity, social appropriateness, emotional impact, and accuracy before it leaves your mouth. Most people have basic filtering. They check obvious things like don't curse in front of grandma. You're running a premium grade version. Your filter is checking word choice, tone, cadence, subtext, implication, and emotional weight, all simultaneously, in milliseconds. This is why you sometimes pause before speaking, why you'll occasionally reset a sentence halfway through, and why some sentences come out a little slower than other people's. It's not that your brain is malfunctioning. It's that your brain is running a sophisticated review process that other people simply don't have access to. The downside is that small talk can feel like writing a thesis. The upside is that when you finally do speak, your sentences usually land with more accuracy, depth, and emotional resonance than most people are capable of producing. Number 5. There's an evolutionary explanation for why your brain developed this trait, and it might be the most beautiful part of all of this. For most of human history, words were one of the most powerful tools we had. The ability to clearly explain yourself, persuade others, calm a tense situation, or articulate a vision determined whether you became a leader, a mediator, a storyteller, or a trusted advisor in your tribe. Humans whose brains naturally edited sentences before speaking were less likely to make social mistakes, less likely to provoke conflict, and more likely to maintain strong alliances. Their words carried weight because their brains treated words like they mattered. You, today, are the direct descendant of those people. Your brain is not anxious. It is calibrated. It is the inheritor of an ancient verbal precision algorithm that helped your ancestors thrive in a world where language could literally save your life. So when you sit there silently rewriting your sentence before you say it, your brain is not embarrassing you. It is honoring something thousands of years old. You are not too careful with your words. You are continuing a legacy of people who understood just how much words can shape a life. So here's where I want you to land tonight. The next time you find yourself pausing mid-sentence to swap annoyed for frustrated, or holding back an answer because the words you have don't quite match the feeling you're trying to express, I want you to stop and reframe the entire experience. You are not weird. You are not broken. You are not socially awkward. You are running a highly active inner speech monitoring system, advanced linguistic precision sensitivity, rare metalinguistic awareness, premium-grade executive linguistic filtering, and an evolutionary inheritance from some of the most thoughtful communicators in human history. Yes, your brain is slower to speak, but it's also the brain that actually says what it means. You don't have a flaw. You have a verbal craftsmanship most people can't replicate. You're not slow. You're considered. You're not anxious. You're accurate. You're not weird. You're calibrated. And in a world that increasingly rewards loud, fast, and careless speech, your kind of brain is genuinely rare and genuinely valuable. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, are you team, I have edited this sentence 3 times in my head before saying it? Or team, I just say whatever comes out and apologize later? Because I already know this comment section is about to become a beautiful documentary of internal editorial processes, and I am ready for every word of it. If this video made you feel seen in a way you haven't felt in a long time, hit that subscribe button because we unpack hidden cognitive superpowers exactly like this one every single week. And if you want to keep diving deeper into why your brain does the brilliant, weird, beautiful things it does, click the next video on the screen right now. I have a feeling you're going to see yourself in it too. I'll see you in the next one.